Hi, I'm Tom Sommers, and welcome to Twin Cities Real Estate Rhetoric. I am joined by my co-host, Toby Muma.
Hello.
Hey, Toby. We are licensed real estate agents in the state of Minnesota. We both work for Edina Realty. In fact, in case you haven't tuned into any of the other volumes here, we are co-workers that work across the hall from each other.
That's right.
So we thought this would be kind of fun to do, so here we are. Let's just jump right into episode number 3, which is, should I buy a home? This is a question that keeps getting asked by a lot of people who don't quite know if they want to jump into the market yet. So, Toby, do you want to start?
Yeah, I will. The first thing is it is a major investment, duh. And the first thing you need to look at is the state of your finances. Basically, you are going to need money down on a home. Either you're going to be doing 3.5% down on an FHA loan, or you'd be doing 20% down for a conventional loan. It could be anywhere in between there too, but it's basically you're going to have to put at least 3.5% down of the sales price on a new house. So you need to have that money available to you.
And this doesn't include closing costs. So when you hear the term seller paid closing costs, this is something that you can bring to the table as an additional amount of money, which could be minimum of 3% and upwards of 5%, depending on the type of loan. But also remember that you can ask for the seller to pay them, and it gets rolled into your mortgage. So you don't have to worry that you have to come up with 7% down or 8% or whatever the case might be. We can work with you on that. So at least at the bare minimum, you want to know that you have to have 3.5% down, but you may qualify also. There are some different types of county programs, bond programs.
Right.
All of them are different, so you have to talk with your mortgage person to find out if you qualify.
Exactly. And you know what, I do want to say one thing. VA. If you have a VA loan, you do not have to have, it's 0% down. You still will have closing costs, but you do not have to have anything down for that. So
yeah, and then also too, I think we should maybe mention that right now there aren't any buyer credits like there was a number of years ago.
Right.
So that does not exist. But also too, if you're thinking about looking at a home that falls outside of what they consider to be the Twin Cities metro area, which is not, you don't have to go all the way to Cambridge, but even as close as say Elko on the south side of the river, you can sometimes qualify for a rural housing loan where it is literally a 0% down.
Yep.
So you know, it depends on where you want to live as to what your choices are going to be.
Exactly. So, and then also another thing to take into consideration with, you know, the state of your finances, having some money put aside, your stability in your job, in, you know, in where you're, or how long you plan on being somewhere. What I mean by that is, I mean, are you in a position that could be eliminated, or you could be transferred, or, you know, are you thinking of doing a career change or something like that? You want to just make sure that you're in something that you're going to be in for a while. And if you're moving into, you know, a home, if you have kids, something like that, are you a place that you're going to be staying for maybe 5 years?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know,
that's a good point to bring up. Yeah,
right.
Because, you know, you don't want to be buying a house right when you think you might have a job change. And they're also going to require that you're at your current employer for a certain amount of time, and that's part of your qualification. So, you know, a lot to consider, but these are things that can be answered by the right loan officer. They can walk you through all of this. I suppose we should talk a little bit about credit score.
Yeah, that would be the next big thing. Mm-hmm.
But, you know, it varies from person to person. So if you're at 720 or higher, you can usually take advantage of the really low interest rates. Not that if you have a lesser credit that you're going to somehow get dinged for it. But, you know, there are advantages to having really good credit, and that loan officer will pull your credit for you. But you're going to need a minimum of 640 to get a loan at this point.
Exactly. And also, different lenders have, you know, different, how do I want to say it, margins that they can use. I mean, you know, so we could say 640 is the lowest, but I do know of other lenders that they can maybe push something through at 630.
Right, because it's a debt to income ratio. So yeah, everyone's different. But the only way you're going to know if it's right for you to buy is to find out about all the financial stuff first.
Exactly. Yep, that is it.
And you're going to, you know, and like what Toby was saying too, you have to be committed to staying in the home for a while, not only from the standpoint of, you know, turning around and selling it and making your money back and also making a profit. You also want to look to purchase a home. If you are going to buy, look for something that suits your needs for the next 3 to 5 years. You don't want to buy something you're going to grow out of within 6 months.
Right, exactly. Or that you're going to be transferred and have to turn around and sell it, because you're not going to make much on a home if you have to turn around and sell it in a year.
Right. And also too, I think, maybe we should touch on the current market right now. So that's some of the stuff that you're going to want to consider also when you're thinking about should you buy a home, is what's the current market like? What's the inventory like? What is the current interest rate? What do I have to choose from?
Exactly.
Is it in my price range and in the areas I want to look? Right now, on the taping of this particular episode, rates are at a historic low.
Historic, yes.
But so is inventory. So there's still a lot of scrambling going on out there. So the more organized you are, the better off you're going to be when you're competing for houses.
Right, right. And then I would probably say, so yeah, the current market, property values, are they stable or on the rise or on the, on low? And then interest rates. And then also another thing is your commitment to home ownership.
Yeah, good point.
If you're, wanting to shovel the snow, do the yard work, maintenance can be very costly in a home sometimes, so.
But if you like renting, for instance, but you want to have home ownership because you're trying to build something for your future, you can also find a condo or a townhome where you don't have to do any of that.
Very
so
good.
there's
Yes.
something for everybody. I'm always of the belief, even before I was a real estate agent, that if you can own a home, you want to.
Right.
Part of what got everybody into trouble, or so many people into trouble here over the last 4 or 5 years, is that you can't use your house as a bank account. You can't keep refinancing and stripping all the equity out of it.
Yep.
That's where people got into trouble. So I still think owning a home is a really good way to go. It's a good, sound financial decision, but the timing has to be right. From a rental standpoint, I don't know, Toby, if you agree with me or not, but it just kind of feels like all you're doing is you're paying off someone else's mortgage for them.
Right. Well, and then, like disadvantages of renting would be, your monthly payment can rise.
Right.
And without any warning. You're not going to be building any equity. You're not going to be getting any tax benefits. And you can't do anything. If you want to, I think you can paint and stuff, but if you want to, I don't know, do anything to improve the place, you really can't. So there's things like that, too, that you just can't do.
Plus, it's money you'll never get back out of it because you're improving it for somebody else.
Exactly.
And then to kind of jump off of one of the things you had just mentioned earlier, I think it's also really important to consider, where are you going to be in 10 years with the rent going up? Because if you get into a 30-year fixed mortgage, you're set. It's not your payment's not going to change.
Yep, they stay stable.
Whereas if the rent goes up, you either have to move or you have to keep paying that increase. So, and the tax ramifications. When you own, you get to write off interest and some other things. So there's a big deduction that's also there for you as a homeowner as well. So not only is it the fact that the payments now are actually lower than a lot of rents in many areas of the Twin Cities, but you get all the tax benefits.
Exactly. Yep.
So hopefully, this will give you guys something to think about.
Right.
If you're contemplating buying a house. And if you have any questions, like we always say, please feel free to call either one of us, or you can email us, or you can visit our Facebook page at Twin Cities Real Estate Rhetoric and post a comment. We'd like to take some of the comments, because we're starting to get some, and answer some questions on future episodes.
Right.
So,
what? I'm sorry, can I just add one more thing? There's a lot of websites out there too that you can go to calculate your cost. Just going onto Google or something like that. You can, of course, just go to our Facebook page and say, hey, what would it cost? But going to Google or something like that and just say, what would my monthly mortgage be, or what would I need to do in order to qualify? And then, compare it to the rent. And you'd have a really quick answer just by doing that too.
That's
so
a great point.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's leave it at that then, because we don't want this to go too long.
Nope.
Like I said, thanks for tuning in. We hope this was helpful, and look forward to other broadcasts from us. And please go to our Facebook page at Twin Cities Real Estate Rhetoric and click like and follow us.
That's right.
All right.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Tom.
Toby. Bye.
Bye.